I'm Alexia and welcome back to my channel. I'm doing a June wrap-up and July TBR. One of the things I wanted to do for this video is pull a card to kind of uplift the energy and vibes of the video. I am a life coach and I actually use tarot in my life coaching sessions as one of my tools. So yeah, I thought it would be fun to pick a card for you guys. This deck is called the Super Attractor deck. It's just filled with affirmations and cute little quotes. That one flew up. To begin the practice of allowing, I must get out of the way and let spirit give me direction. This is really cute. I think sometimes we don't realize how much we get in our own ways. But yeah, let's get into the video. For my June wrap-up, I read 3 books in June. The first one was Blood Marked. This is a big book. It's like the size of my head. I kind of went into this book already in my last video, so I won't go too much into it again, but I did realize that I did not give a solid synopsis of what the Legend Cycle or Legendborn Cycle series is about. I'm gonna give a more cohesive synopsis this time. This is the second book in the series. I gave Blood Marked 4 stars. I mentioned it in the last video, but I didn't enjoy this one as much as the first one. It's not because it was any less good. I think I just felt like the story itself kind of was drawn out. It didn't feel slow. It was definitely action-packed, and I was very much enticed and gripped the entire time. By the end of it, I was kind of like, oh, so we're left with this cliffhanger, but not, I wouldn't necessarily say not too much happened, but I felt like I was left wanting more, and I'm not sure what it was. I would say solid 4 stars for me. For those who aren't aware, the first book is Legendborn. After Bree's mother dies in an accident, she seeks refuge by signing up for a residential program at a university in North Carolina. It's for bright high school students, and there she ends up witnessing a magical attack on her first night on campus. It ends up being a demon feeding off of human energy. When she witnesses the attack, she ends up finding out that there are people called Legendborn, which is a secret society that hunts these creatures down. When she witnesses that demon / magical attack, a teenage mage, or as they call them, Merlins, attempts to wipe her memory and fails, which ends up later unlocking a memory that Bree didn't realize she had, connecting another Merlin to her mother's death in the hospital, and also unlocks Bree's unique magic. Thus ensues her goal to infiltrate the Legendborn through Nick, who is a self-exiled Legendborn member, where Bree discovers that the Legendborn are descendants of King Arthur's knights. She ends up finding out in the process that a magical war is coming. So that also starts the fight within her whether to use her magic to defeat the society or to join the fight. I don't think I mentioned the video I'm referring to, but I did the mid-year freakout tag, and in that one I briefly mentioned Blood Marked. If you want to head over and watch that, I have a little bit more thoughts and also comments of just geeking out and a lot of emotions over it. Like I said in the tag, I love how much representation there is, and there's also a love triangle in this, but if you ask me, is it though? Is it really a love triangle? Because just saying. But yeah, solid series. I really love this, and I can't wait for the next book, which I have no idea when it is, and it's driving me crazy. The second book I read don't hate me, but I read Ugly Love, and kind of wish that idea had stayed in the drafts, not gonna lie. I rated this one 2 stars. Not gonna lie, bit of a jump scare there. There's a stepbro stepsis moment, not with the main people who are pursuing each other, but it's there. It's not, yeah, I'm not gonna say any more about that. Anyway, Ugly Love is basically about Tate meeting. Also, if you see me glancing down a lot, I am really bad with summarizing things in a cohesive way. So I wrote it down. So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. But basically, Tate meets her brother's best friend because I think she is going to nursing school or something, and she has to stay with her brother for a bit until she gets her own apartment. And I think she broke up with someone, and that's also why. But of course, she ends up having a meet uncute with Miles. Tate and Miles end up having this banter, and the only thing they really have in common at first is just their physical attraction towards each other and the lust. They make an agreement to only have sex, no strings attached, where his only 2 rules are never ask about his past and never expect the future. So of course that sounds healthy and like it's gonna go well. Apart from the obvious debate on Colleen Hoover, I really just did not think that there was any character development. It was literally just like Tate's a nursing student and she has a brother, and Miles is a pilot, and they have a lot of sex. They're just like, I love you, but I can't. I want to be with you, but I can't. And there's like really no reason other than like him needing to go to therapy, maybe, you know? I just didn't feel very connected to the characters. I will say this is my first Colleen Hoover book I've read. Some of y'all are probably like, rip. I will say her writing is very quick, and I will say I was invested enough in it that I did finish it. I just wasn't very invested in the characters. I will admit it's pretty spicy, and the majority of it is literally just like spice. Just very substantial, easy to read, I guess. Like I said, Miles just needed therapy. Tate probably should have just respected his boundaries on not being ready to talk about his past and being extremely triggered by it. Also, I feel like a lot of the Goodreads reviews were like, Miles is the worst, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, they were kind of both the worst. So that's all I gotta say about that one. The 3rd book I read in June was The House in the Cerulean Sea. I also mentioned this in my mid-year freakout tag. I absolutely adored this book. I rated it 5 stars. This one is about Linus Baker is a by-the-book caseworker in the department in charge of magical youth. His quiet life changes when he's summoned by extremely upper management, and he's given a highly classified assignment to go to an orphanage on a distant island to determine whether the six magical children there are really as dangerous as the extremely upper management believe they are, because they believe that these children are meant to bring about the end of days, quote unquote. This was just so cute. It has the found family trope. It was just a magical, warm hug. I loved it. So on the island, the children are, there's a wyvern, there's the Antichrist, so just the devil or Satan's son. There's a mysterious amorphous blob that they don't know how they came to be. There's a sprite, there's a gnome, and there's a were Pomeranian, like a were dog. Just such lovable and unique characters. I just loved it. Those are the 3 books I read in June. On to my July TBR. I am currently reading Dance of Thieves. I thought it would be fun to give a prediction of what I think I'm gonna rate these. So for Dance of Thieves so far, I think I'm going to rate this a 4. I'm on page 371, so I have less than 200 pages left. Unless something drastically changes in the end, I think it will be a 4 stars. I really like it so far. I just don't see it being a 5-star read. I'll read the back of this because I feel like that's the best way to kind of summarize this. Honestly, I went into this book not really knowing much about it, and I feel like I would recommend doing that as well. If you like fantasy that has romance in it, then I feel like you would really like this one. I will say the romance is a little bit, it's definitely a prominent theme in this. When you read fantasy, if you like more the politics or learning more about the world and more action, then you might not enjoy this one as much. I'm not saying that the romance takes away from that at all. I do think it's a pretty good balance, but it's very much 50-50 of both. Dance of Thieves is about a formidable outlaw family that claims to be the first among nations. A son destined to lead, thrust suddenly into power. 3 fierce young women of the Rattan, the Queen's premier guard. A legendary street thief leading a mission determined to prove herself. A dark secret that is a threat to the entire continent. When outlaw leader meets reformed thief, a cat and mouse game of false moves ensues, bringing them intimately together in a battle that may cost them their lives and their hearts. Also, I really like the cover, and this is one of my favorite bookmarks. I don't know if you can see the gleam of the light, but I feel like it kind of goes with the cover a little bit. I'm excited to finish this one. The second book in my TBR for July is All the Light We Cannot See. This is actually the July book pick for my book club. It's Bottomless Reads on the Fable app if you want to check it out. But yeah, I'm super excited. I've had this on my TBR in general for such a long time, literally for years, because I remember, I'm not sure if it was the year this came out or maybe like a year in, but everyone was raving about this, and I think it's perfect timing too, because I misspoke on my book mid-year freak out tag video, but it's actually a show that's coming out on Netflix, so I'm super excited to have this read before that comes out. I think it comes out in October or November. This says it's about Marie-Laure LeBlanc. I probably butchered that, I'm sorry. Lives with her father in Paris near the Museum of Natural History where he works. When she is 12, the Nazis occupy Paris, and father and daughter flee to the walled citadel of Saint Malo, where Marie-Laure's this is going well. Marie-Laure's reclusive great-uncle lives in a tall house by the sea. With them, they carry what might be the museum's most valuable and dangerous jewel. In a mining town in Germany, I know Germans pronounce their W's like V's, so it's probably Werner Finnig. An orphan grows up with his younger sister, enchanted by a crude radio they find that brings them news and stories from places they have never seen or imagined. Werner becomes an expert at building and fixing these crucial new instruments and is enlisted to use his talent to track down the resistance. Marie-Laure and Werner, from warring countries, both having lost many of the people they loved, come together in St. Malo as Dora illuminates the ways against all odds people try to be good to one another. I'm super excited for this one. I am predicting this one to be a 5 stars. I just feel like, I don't know, the way that people speak about this, people just always say it's just stunning and beautiful, so I really think it's gonna touch my heart. The third one on my TBR, the third and last, because I'm not gonna get too cocky, is going to be Pretend You're Mine by Lucy Score. Not gonna lie, my prediction for this one is probably gonna be 2 stars. And you're probably like, why are you reading it then? But my coworker lended it to me, so I'm gonna give it a shot. I don't have extremely high expectations, and it's nothing against Lucy Score. I think one of her newest books, Things We Never Got Over, I haven't read that yet. I do own it. It was on sale at Costco, so I snagged that. Book hack or life hack for bookish people. Costco has cheap books. I think I saw Happy Place there by Emily Henry there, and it was the hardcover, and don't quote me, but I think it was like $17. This one is about Luke Garrison is a hometown hero, a member of the National Guard ready to deploy again. He's strong, sexy, broody. The last thing he's looking for is a woman to ruin his solitude. When feisty trouble magnet Harper Wilde stumbles into his life, though, he realizes that she's the perfect decoy, a fake girlfriend to keep his family off his back until he's deployed. Aw, yes, that's so sexy. A man using a woman. Love that. So what if kissing her sends his mind to wicked places? He can control himself. Can't he? Harper was on her way to starting a new life, again. But something about Luke makes her want to settle down in this small town and make his house a home. When she's in his arms, she finally knows what it's like to feel safe, protected. One night of sharing a bed turns into something much, much more, And soon, Luke can't keep his mind off Harper's wide gray eyes or his hands off her luscious curves. He never thought he'd feel this way again, but he knows that he can't tell her the truth about his dark past, and she can't reveal what she's running from. At least this isn't a real relationship. It's only for a month. It's only pretend until it isn't. So like, okay, not sure how I feel about that one. We'll see. I won't shut myself off of that one. It's giving YN Wattpad fanfic, not gonna lie. For all my after girlies who read it in the Wattpad days before you realized how toxic it was, just the wide gray eyes part, if you can relate, comment down below. That's my video. I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope to see you really soon. Bye!